What is up, Bulldogs? All right, so I did this video on what real masculinity looks like, which we're looking at here now, and got quite a bit of blowback on this. But I wanted to do this video to follow up to sort of educate some of you that are not quite understanding the concept here. And I understand that this is a difficult pill to swallow, probably even harder than the red pill to swallow. But, a lot of you think that you're red pilled, but you're not really because you don't quite understand things. Like you're between the stage of blue pill and red pill, but the red pill is kind of stuck in your throat. It's kind of caught there and you need something to wash it down. So let me explain this. I know some of you are going to get real butthurt about this. Kind of some interesting reactions here. Some comments here. I actually pinned a comment, so because it was getting a little crazy. Some people are going crazy on this, and you can see just some like this guy needs to run. That's Crazy Gene expressing himself right there. So you are a whipped dog, sir. I thought that was pretty funny as well. So yeah, this guy, I've got to see what his long super ass. He probably did some kind of long ass comment. Oh no, he didn't. So this troll, there's like chronic trolls that like troll. It's so funny. I like, how much of a loser are you if you like watch my videos and you just like make loser comments on them? Like you watch them all and make comments on them. So anyway, it's pretty funny. So I get what you guys, think about this, but unfortunately you guys are wrong. Like you don't quite understand this. So let me explain this from the very beginning, okay? The way that this works and what the kind of the point is here. Okay, so I rewatched the video to make sure that what I was saying is correct, and it is. It's pretty much correct. Like I was trying to think, like, oh, I must have missed this point of saying, that obviously one shouldn't take abuse and like that. So, but here's what it really comes down to is this. Again, I was talking about how you guys are, a lot of you are stuck between this blue pill and red pill zone. So what you've done is you've rejected the blue pill, which is good on you. You are not, caught up in this whole one nightis. Good. You're no longer at this point of like allowing yourself or accepting to be in the friend zone. Good. That's good. It's great. It's awesome. You will not let yourself be abused and taken advantage of by women and manipulated by them. That's great. You'll stand up for yourself. And some of you have gone off the reservation with the men going their own way, and you've just forsaken or written off women completely. Not so good, but at least you're standing up for yourself and have a backbone to some degree. But here's the thing. Here's the problem. This is why you haven't made it all the way to the red pill zone. Even though you understand what's happening and what's happening in society, you're still blaming women. You're still blaming society. You're not accepting responsibility. And you're also missing what it is to actually be a man. See, what you're figuring out is what it's is to not be a man, which is great. That's a good step, right? To understand that allowing yourself to be abused, allowing yourself to be obsessed about one woman and allowing her to, trample over your heart and all this stuff is not good, okay? And that women are going to be hypergamous by biology, okay? That they're going to be seeking men of higher status, and you should expect that kind of behavior and these kind of behaviors from women. But when you attribute it to malice, and you don't understand the specific roles and differences between femininity and masculinity, you haven't quite made it the whole way. The whole way is to take full responsibility and realize that even though, you need to be strong enough to not allow yourself to be abused, it comes not from your action, not necessarily, right? It comes from a mental state, a state of being. Okay. And so what do I mean by this? So in this video, right, what was I demonstrating here? Why did I think that this video was such a good demonstration of what it is, what real masculinity looks like? Okay. Now, obviously, this is a stage video. It's kind of clear from the setup here, and I think I've seen this couple do, kind of crazy videos like this before, but it was still a good example, right? But what's happening here when you look at this is it's an exaggeration to some degree, but not 100%. I'm sure that if you've been in a relationship with a woman, you've probably seen similar behavior. Okay. But this behavior is the feminine. Now, it gets blurry here because a lot of you are like, oh, this is abuse and no one should tolerate this and no one should allow themselves to be treated this way. And while I agree with you 100% from a logical, analytical, masculine viewpoint, the feminine doesn't think that way. In fact, when this is happening, you could say that the feminine doesn't think at all. Okay. The feminine is all about emotion, okay, an expression of emotion and what they feel in the now. The masculine is all about analytical and looking at the future and the past to determine right course of action and what makes sense, what is fair, what is just. Okay. That doesn't come into play in the feminine. Now, men and women are not wholly masculine and feminine, like I said in the prior video, in this video here. So it's not like it's just acceptable for a woman to be just a complete roller coaster of emotion all the time, doing whatever the fuck that she wants. Okay. Again, I'm not going to condone violence, but I have no problem with smacking a bitch. Okay. I'll say that. All right. So, but in this case, it doesn't warrant it. All right. And what I mean by that is that this is just a normal, like, is this really a big deal? This chick is going off and yelling at him, grabbing his newspaper, throwing water in his face. Not a big deal. Nothing that he, as a man, should be worried about or upset about. Now, if she's doing this on a repeated basis, if she's constantly doing this and constantly spazzing out and constantly, right, actually physically abusing him, should he stick around and hang out with this chick or have her in his life at all? No, I don't think so. But I'm looking at this from the perspective of when this happens, and it will happen, these tantrums, these storms, I'd rather call them storms, will come to pass in any kind of relationship that you are in with the women, you guys. And I'll tell you what will happen if you don't encounter these. That'll be coming up in a second here, so hang on. But it will happen in most of your relationships. And how you handle these situations is critical to demonstrating whether or not you are a man or not, right? So one of the commenters said something like, oh, I wouldn't tolerate this. I forget exactly what he said. Where was it? He said, like, I don't know where it was. It was like something along like, and I gave a response to this. Oh yeah, I don't think a man would put up with this kind of shit. It's one thing to be unreactive. It's another thing to be passive, right? And this was, kind of my answer here. See, it's funny you say that, but how would you not put up with the shit? Tell her off? Say, stop, don't treat me like that? Or wait, I know, you would leave, run away like a little boy. Honestly, none of those answers are very masculine or project power and dominance at all. Weathering the storm, reading your newspaper while the roofs are being ripped off of houses around you and everyone is panicking and screaming is the correct course of action. Later, you may evaluate the amount of femininity a particular woman expresses, like this is worth sticking around or not. But in the moment, the correct response is no response. Trust me on this one, if you do not learn this lesson, you'll find yourself constantly being tested by women, especially in long-term relationship. So this is the truth of the matter, okay? This shit is going to happen, all right? It is going to happen, and you're going to have to decide how you're going to react to this. And like I said, what are you going to do? What is it to not put up with this kind of shit? What does that mean? Does that mean that you get up, stand over there and slap her? I don't think that's going to turn out well for you. And I don't think that's really going to change the situation. All right. Does it mean that you say, hey, stop doing this and try to stand up for yourself by using logic to fight emotion? No. What about just walking away? Again, you could do that approach and that's fine. But the thing is, it's kind of weak, honestly. Like, to be bullied to the point that you walk away from a situation, I don't like it. Instead, I like the idea of saying, hey, whatever. You know what? You're crazy. I'm fine with, whatever you want to do. Go ahead. You're not affecting me. You're not phasing me. It's fine. You got a storm going on. I'm here. It doesn't matter, right? I'm here at my will and my own volition, right? Again, a lot of people use the phrase here. They're like, oh, pussy whipped and all of this stuff. You're not getting it, guys. You're just not getting it. This is the higher level, okay? When you're between the blue pill and the red pill, it's great because you've changed your thinking, right? I hope that a lot of you have read Rational Male by Rollo Tomassi, and it's great. But you have to go further than that. Okay, that's why I recommended in the first video the book by David Data, because I want you to understand what it is to be a superior man, not just a man. And I think that he demonstrates it well, okay? Because it's more than just being, and he calls it, I mean, he's got level 1 and level 2, I think, and level 3 men. And it doesn't mean that women can't be mature in their own regards as well, but you have to take responsibility for you. And as you, as a man, as a level 1 man, you're basically, we could say that in this case that you're completely whooped, okay, that you have the one eye, so you are blue pilled, right? But as you move into that level 2, now you're looking out for yourself. But this is where you're getting stuck, guys. You're only looking out for yourself, right? And you're like, I won't take this, or I won't be abused. You're like a scared dog that has been hit too many times, and every time you see the stick, you run and you hide because you're not going to get hit anymore. And it's good because now you're not, you're not putting yourself in front of the stick to be hit like a stupid dog that just is getting hit, okay? But you're not at that level 3, right, where you are actually immune, where you're not afraid of the stick because you realize that you can leave at any time that you want, right? That you can be non-attached. But part of what is the feminine is this expression of emotion, and it's okay and it's different, right? Women don't lie, okay? They don't intentionally lie. They just feel this way at a time, and they feel differently at a different time, right? And so this kind of behavior, this kind of crazy emotions, right? You've seen those pictures of the crazy hot scale. Again, a lot of you guys, you think, oh, well, maybe John's not educated about this. Trust me, guys, this is something that I know about for sure, okay? This is something that I coach a lot of guys on, that I have seen a lot on this subject. And I'm telling you that when you look at the crazy hot scale, there's a reason why. And again, I went back and I said, okay, let me tell you what will happen if you don't deal with this. And it's fine if you are in a relationship with a woman and you cannot handle this, and she knows that you can't handle this, because your way of dealing with it or reacting to it is to stonewall, to be hurt, to withdraw from the situation, or to try and win by dominance, by fighting her, by telling her it's not appropriate, that she's wrong, okay? If that's your reaction to it, she's going to not exhibit that behavior, okay? So she's going to close off a lot of her femininity, and she's going to act more like a man around you. You're going to train her to act more like a man. In fact, I got a video from someone that was like, was talking about this, and it's fine. It's well, I think there was some good advice in the video, but the idea is you do not want to train a woman in your relationship to act like a man, because if she does, then it's going to depolarize the entire thing. So you're not going to have that passion, right? And if you look at this again, you could look at classic literature, you could look at movies, you could look at society, right? You could look at the whole, the dynamics that we inherently understand about men and women, and you'll see the most passionate relationships are the most volatile, right? Where there is that flowing of emotion, where there is that conflict that is occurring, okay? And how it's handled determines how that relationship goes, right? So if you look at, there was, what is that movie, that Mr. and Mrs. Smith, right? With Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. Or in fact, I think is there another one that was like, it was called The Mexican or something like that. Similar dynamic, right? And you'll see this in the literature, you'll see this in movies, you'll see this repeated through human drama, is this masculine versus the feminine, constantly at war, constantly fighting, constantly the feminine testing the masculine with this torrent of emotion and storm and craziness. And then what is the proper response from the masculine? It is to not run, not hide, not react, to be there. And then when the storm's over, now the woman is there and she sees that she has actually a real man. Now, again, don't get me wrong, guys. You are free to exit this. If you do not want this kind of abuse, if you call it abuse, in this case, I don't really call this abuse. This seems pretty damn tame. I mean, what the fuck? Like, if you can't deal with that kind, I mean, that's just a fucking, I don't know. If you've ever dated women that are attractive, that's mild. If you haven't, then maybe you don't know. Okay, that's fine, guys, but that's mild. Okay. Like, if you don't want to put up with that, that's fine. All right, fine. Then don't. Then don't. You know, if you're that guy in that situation and you're like, oh, I don't tolerate anyone ever like throwing water in my face or anything like that, then leave. Then just go. Just be like, fuck you. Just be like, fuck off, bitch. Right? Like, I don't have any problem with that. Or go take the water and throw it in her face and then leave. I don't care. Like, you can do that. That's fine. Right? I'm not suggesting that you just like take abuse for the sake of taking abuse and because you're afraid of a loss. Don't do it because you're afraid of a loss. And I'm not saying that you take it. I'm saying that you don't count this as anything. You're just like, this is just how fucking women act. And you just treat it that way. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to give you guys the most in-depth understanding of this so it makes sense. But that's the basic idea here. Okay? It's not about being pussy whipped. It's not about taking abuse and her being abusive or any of that. You can exit the situation. I'm never saying that you should stay in a situation where someone is crossing your boundaries. But what I am saying is that you as a man need to understand that women, especially attractive women, or rather we'd say more feminine women, which are typically going to be more attractive women, are going to act this way. It shouldn't be a shock to you, okay? And it is part of the feminine, okay? And that is just, it is about feeling the emotion. It's about these flashes of anger. It's about doing irrational things, right? And that is what is actually attracting you, the masculine part of you, to the woman, is that feminine. That's why you keep on hooking up with these crazy hot girls, right? If you do, okay? And so you can't tame that, just like she can't tame the masculine part of you, right? Have you seen, again, right? So for you, and maybe this will kind of clear this up for you, because a lot of you guys are saying, oh, get your woman in line and shit. It's fine. Like I said, if you do tame her, right? Well, again, we'll switch to the other side. Women try to tame men, okay, when they marry them, when they're in relationships with them, right? That's when we call men being pussy whipped, right? That's when they say, oh, let me ask the boss before they can go out and hang out with the boys. Let me go ask the boss. Let me go ask permission. Let me go see, oh, I'm in trouble now, right? They say all those kind of phrases because the woman has essentially trained them to not be a man. And by virtue of doing that, has she made him more attractive or less attractive to her? Right? Answer the question. She's made him less attractive, right? A pussy whipped man that doesn't wear the pants, that defers to the woman, that's afraid of walking on eggshells, that's afraid of upsetting her, has become less attractive to the woman because he's become more feminine. He's become submissive. Okay? That's a woman training a man. In the same token, guys, do you want to train a woman to be more manly, to be more masculine, to be more rational? Again, it's great when women can be rational, but if you were to succeed, and a lot of you guys, you can succeed at this. You can definitely train a woman just like she can train a man, like I just described to you. And you can basically shut down every time that she's doing like an emotional, crazy outburst. You can shut that shit down. And you can be like, you know what? Fuck you, bitch. Don't talk to me like this. Don't fucking throw water at me. Don't fucking, I'm out of here. Like, I'm leaving, right? And there are times when you do need to do that, when it is too extreme, right? But you can do that and you can shut her down every time that she's going crazy and be like, hey, you need to be rational, okay? And I've made this mistake before, okay? And you can do it. And you can succeed in training a woman to be analytical and rational around you and not have these emotional outbursts, okay? But when you do that, do you think you'll make her less or more attractive to you, and less or more attracted to you? Do you understand? It's going to be less, okay? You're going to be basically making her more into a man, and you're not going to like that. Okay, I know you don't like the crazy hot, that you wish you could just have the hot without the crazy. I understand that, but it's a dual, it's a packaged together thing. The femininity, the exact thing that draws you to her, is to some degree that craziness, that living in the moment, that emotional type of creature that you are not. Okay, that's the polarization, that's the opposites. That's why that attraction exists at all. So I don't know, does this make more sense to you? Like, I don't mean to like call you guys out in the comments and be like, I'm a little bit of a dick in the comments. I agree, that's fine. But because you guys are just not fucking getting it. And I realize it's probably not your fault. I mean, it's good. I'm glad that you were blue pilled and you read some red pill stuff like Rollo Tomasi's book, perhaps, or you watch some videos and now you think you're the shit and you think and you're not going to let any woman take advantage of you. But you're not going to get them either. That's the fucking problem. It's because you're not really a man yet. Because you know how to like not let people abuse you, which is great. You know how to not be a doormat, which is great. You know how to not accept being in the friend zone, which is great. It's better than, being totally blue pilled and being a feminist and a fucking retard and an orbiter and all the shit. You know that already. That's great. But the next step is to stop hating the world and stop hating women and stop hating the way it is and stop being so scared that someone's going to take advantage of you or abuse you. Okay. And to realize that if you're a man, like, you get to decide if something hurts you. You can sit there and she can throw the fucking water in your face. Okay. It doesn't fucking matter. Why does it fucking matter? Right? If your ego is so fucking fragile that you're like, oh, she's disrespecting me, I'm losing face, right? Fine, then I get it. Then yeah, fuck, you can react and whatnot. But by reacting, you're showing that you care. You're showing that her opinion of you and other people's opinion of you matters more than your own internal peace and opinion of yourself. So to sum it up, it basically comes down to this. Rewatch the original video, okay? What I said in there was 100% accurate. All right, I watched it a couple times just to make sure I'm not giving you any bad advice. I want to make sure I'm not giving you bad advice. It's fucking accurate. It's correct, okay? But understand this. You don't have to be in any kind of relationship you don't want to. I'm not suggesting you go back to the blue pill days. I'm not suggesting you become pussy whipped. I'm not suggesting you allow a woman to tame you, right? Don't ask for permission if you're going to go out, if you're going to go with your friend. Like, you can do whatever the fuck you want. You should be that man and not seek approval and not seek your woman's approval to make your decisions in life. That's fine. That's great. It's awesome. But at the same time, understand and accept that women and femininity, more femininity, not because women are more than just a feminine aspect of themselves, but understand that that is an emotional storm. It is a roller coaster. It is how femininity is. It is the opposite of masculinity, and it is crazy, and you do not understand it. And that if you really want to love a woman, if you do, if you don't, that's fine, you will have to love that. You will have to accept that. Doesn't mean accepting abuse. It just means understanding. It means understanding that this is the way. It's just the same thing as this, okay? And I hate to make this comparison, but I'll do this and then I'll wrap this up. Okay, have you ever had like a puppy or like a baby or I don't know, some kind of animal that's acting out of instinct? Okay, you don't get angry at the animal that acts out of instinct. You don't take it as a personal insult when the puppy pisses on the floor. Okay, you don't go in and exert your dominance and fucking slap the puppy around and be like, fuck you, don't piss on my fucking floor. Okay, you could do that. It's fine. You could do it, but it just doesn't make any fucking sense, right? Instead, what you do is you understand that this is a puppy. It doesn't understand what it's doing. It's just doing what nature is telling it to do, and it's just doing what it feels like doing. Okay, it's not doing it out of maliciousness or anything like that. Okay, you understand that, so you act in a somewhat tolerant way, and you deal with that situation. Now, if you don't want a puppy, if you don't want something pissing on your floor, I mean, you could potty train it, of course, obviously, right? You're obviously doing that. But what I'm saying is that that default behavior, okay? If you don't want that, then you don't get a puppy. If you don't want any kind of craziness in your life, if you just want analytical and you just want everything to be, logical, you like your guy friends where it's like, dude, like you're acting kind of fucking crazy, like, you know what I mean? And you want to hash it out and talk about things on a rational level and be like, whatever, then it's fine. That could be your life. Okay. You can make that choice, but you have to understand that if you want to have a woman in your life, especially one that is desirable, especially one that has feminine traits, that's attractive and probably pretty hot, it's just like the puppy. You're just gonna have to accept that. That's part of it. And so you can fight, and fight that nature, and maybe you can kill that nature, okay? And then the puppy's gonna piss on the floor when you're not looking. So, which means, let me translate that for you guys. She's gonna fuck around behind your back. That's what's gonna happen, because she's gonna want a guy that's actually a fucking man that can actually handle that kind of shit and isn't gonna get phased by getting some fucking water thrown in his face. I mean, how fucking weak are you? Okay, that's just my judgment of you, but whatever. Okay, so that's what it comes down to. So all you guys are leaving little fucking baby ass comments because you're all butthurt because women have hurt you in the past. I get it. I understand. Like, I get where you're coming from. But you've stopped growing. You took the blue pill, or you got rid of the blue pill. You got the red pill, put it in your mouth, you swallowed. It's stuck in your fucking throat. You need to grow over it. Get over it. You need to grow up, be a fucking man, realize that this is how it's always been, okay? There's nothing new. It's not like society now, all of a sudden with Me Too movement and all this shit. I agree the fucked up shit that's going on. I agree. I see it. I know it. I know MRA movement and all the fucking shit. Believe me. I know it, okay? But it's time for you to take responsibility and to realize that you have to operate in this world and that this is nothing new. That women have always, femininity has always been like this for hundreds and hundreds of years. Okay? And as a man, you need to be able to deal with this. And again, like I said, you can deal with it in a way that that makes you feel better, right? Because you didn't let anyone step on you, which is, it's stronger than being a weak doormat. It is stronger than that. Or you can rise to level 3, which is to not even think the same as you would think of a puppy pissing on the floor. It's just what happened. You just fucking clean it up and like, it's not a big fucking deal. Okay. And if you don't want to have a puppy anymore, then you get rid of the puppy. Okay. But if you want to have the puppy, you're going to have to deal with the fucking puddles. All right. That's all I got for you guys. Hopefully this makes sense. If you guys understand this, let me know if there's something that you still don't fucking get from this. I think I've been pretty fucking clear. I made this pretty fucking long for a reason. I'll talk to you guys later. Take care.